Section: Introduction. In this section, we discuss the impressive reasoning abilities of large language models, LLMs, and the important role of reinforcement learning, RL, in enhancing these skills. While recent RL advancements have excelled in areas like mathematical reasoning and coding, applying these methods to broader reasoning tasks poses challenges. These include limited RL training data due to difficulties in defining clear rewards and ensuring models can generalize across various tasks. We note that previous research has attempted to diversify RL training data by gathering datasets from different sources, but they haven't assessed the importance of each source or explored the best ways to combine data for improved performance. Additionally, much of the focus has been on mathematical reasoning, neglecting how non-mathematical reasoning could benefit RL learning for better generalization. A key issue in using RL for general reasoning tasks is creating a reward model that can verify diverse answers. Unlike math, where correctness is clear, other reasoning tasks often lack definitive solutions. Different domains and question types also require unique reasoning approaches. For example, math problems follow strict rules, while fields like law and social sciences depend on context and narrative. To address these challenges, we introduce NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK, a systematic method for integrating multi-domain data into RL training, which enhances generalization across various tasks. Our approach involves several phases: curating diverse data sources, applying templates to limit answer options, filtering out unfeasible samples, preparing data blending strategies, and using self-learning with RL to improve reasoning across domains. NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK shows that combining multi-domain data and different question formats significantly boosts LLM reasoning abilities. Models trained with our method not only achieve higher accuracy but also adapt their responses based on the question type, leading to more efficient inference. We also tackle the challenge of creating verifiable rewards for non-deterministic domains by using templates to manage answer diversity. This allows for scalable reward modeling in general reasoning tasks. Our filtering approach ranks reasoning data by complexity, showing that training with more challenging samples enhances RL effectiveness across all domains. In summary, our main contributions include the introduction of NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK, which improves LLM generalization across reasoning tasks, and the demonstration that using templates and blending multi-domain data leads to better performance. We find that a balanced mix of general purpose and math data yields the best results, and our filtering technique further boosts accuracy, especially in larger models. Our findings highlight the importance of thoughtful data blending, scaling, formatting, and filtering in successful RL with language models. We hope NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK will serve as a valuable framework for training more capable and generalizable models. Section Summary. In this section, we introduce NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK, a framework designed to enhance the reasoning capabilities of large language models, LLMs, by incorporating multi-domain corpora into reinforcement learning, RL, training. Our approach demonstrates significant improvements in generalization across diverse reasoning tasks, particularly by employing effective data blending strategies and question-answer templates, leading to higher accuracy and more efficient responses. Section: NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK, Scaling Self-Learning Beyond Math. In this section, we investigate reasoning areas beyond mathematics and examine how reinforcement learning, RL, affects large language models, LLMs, trained on various datasets and question types. A key requirement for effective self-learning is having access to high-quality, diverse, and reward-compatible training data. While mathematical reasoning has benefited from clean datasets, applying RL to broader reasoning domains is still underexplored due to a lack of structured supervision. To tackle this, we look into ways to use web documents and open-source question-answer benchmarks to gather general-purpose reasoning data. By mixing structured and unstructured domains, we introduce a variety of cognitive patterns and reasoning strategies that can enhance generalization. However, this also brings noise and ambiguity, especially in open-ended formats, complicating reliable rule-based reward modeling. To address this, we use task-specific templates to standardize question and answer formats, reducing variability and allowing for clear reward signals. We also implement a simple data filtering strategy to remove examples that are hard to verify, such as overly long open-ended answers or multiple-choice questions with mismatched options, ensuring stable RL training. We begin by carefully curating datasets from various sources to ensure diversity in our training data. Our training dataset consists of two parts, one from synthetically generated data and the other from publicly available open-source question-answer datasets. Each source includes question-answer pairs related to general-purpose reasoning and mathematics. For general-purpose reasoning, we gather open-source datasets that cover multiple domains, including STEM fields and social sciences. To further enhance diversity, we synthesize question-answer pairs from web documents using a wide range of domains as our base. For mathematical reasoning, we include datasets that require chain-of-thought derivations, which encourage the model to think critically. We combine open-source mathematical reasoning datasets and generate additional math problems using similar techniques. We recognize that general-purpose reasoning benchmarks typically fall into two categories: multiple-choice questions and open-ended questions. We believe that each question type prompts different thinking patterns, leading to varied reasoning paths in the model. Training on diverse question types will improve the model's generalization by exposing it to different answer formats. Therefore, we synthesize our general-purpose reasoning dataset using two templates, one for multiple-choice questions and another for open-ended questions. We convert multiple-choice datasets to open-ended by removing the answer options, and we discard incomplete questions to avoid confusion. To ensure high-quality training data, we apply filtering and formatting steps to eliminate samples that are difficult to evaluate with a simple rule-based reward function. For multiple-choice questions, we check if the correct answer is included in the question text. For open-ended questions, we discard samples that are hard to evaluate, retaining only those with answers that are 10 words or fewer. Lastly, for the mathematical reasoning dataset, we remove entries without valid answers, ensuring that all questions have a corresponding response. Section Summary. In this section, we investigate the extension of reinforcement learning, RL, to general-purpose reasoning beyond mathematics by curating diverse datasets from web documents and open-source QA benchmarks, while addressing challenges like noise and ambiguity through structured templates and filtering strategies. Our approach combines synthetic and open-source data to enhance reasoning diversity and improve model generalization across different question formats. Section: Data Blending. In this section, we explore the effects of data diversity through three main areas. 1. Data source. We collect questions from various fields such as math, STEM, humanities, economics, history, law, and social sciences. We analyze how each source influences reinforcement learning, RL, training. 2. Question types. We examine how different types of questions affect performance in downstream tasks. 3. Data usefulness. We assess the contribution of each data source to the performance of downstream tasks. We start by running RL with individual data sources and then evaluate their effectiveness across various tasks. Based on these evaluations, we create a new blend of data. We develop 6 unique blends based on these categories, which we summarize in a table that describes the blends and their dataset weight distributions. Next, we utilize a pre-trained large language model, LLM, and a training blend, where each sample includes an input prompt and a verifiable final answer. We apply Group Relative Policy Optimization, GRPO, which does not require a separate critic model. Instead, it estimates the baseline from group scores, enhancing efficiency and reducing memory usage. For each question, GRPO samples a group of outputs from the previous policy and optimizes the policy model by maximizing a specific objective, where certain parameters are involved, and the advantage is calculated using a group of rewards related to the outputs. To guide our RL process, we implement a rule-based reward system for verifiable evaluation. We define the total reward as the logical conjunction of an accuracy reward and a format reward. The accuracy reward checks if the model's response matches the correct answer, while the format reward ensures that the response follows a specific structure. For our experimental setup, we use Qwen 2.5-7b and Qwen 2.5-32b as our baseline models, which show strong generalization across various reasoning tasks. We apply GRPO training using the Virl framework, with specific settings like a constant learning rate and batch sizes. During training, the model encounters mixed types of questions from different domains, and we note that further hyperparameter tuning could lead to improvements. For evaluation, we test our models on a range of benchmarks that include mathematical and general reasoning tasks. We assess performance on various datasets, including Math 500 and SUPER-GPQA, which is designed to evaluate generalizability across diverse fields. We compare the model's answers to the correct solutions, ensuring consistency in formatting for both open-ended and multiple-choice questions. We report accuracy based on multiple independent inference runs. Section Summary. In this section, we analyze the effects of data diversity on reinforcement learning, RL, by exploring various data sources, question types, and their contributions to performance, ultimately creating 6 distinct data blends. We employ Group Relative Policy Optimization, GRPO, with a rule-based reward system to train our models, using a diverse set of benchmarks to evaluate their reasoning capabilities across multiple domains, including the recently introduced Super-GPQA for assessing generalizability. Section. Analyze the effect of individual datasets. In this section, we analyze the impact of individual datasets on our self-learning approach. To create an effective blend from various data sources, we first assess how each source influences our model, allowing us to prioritize the most beneficial datasets and reduce the weight of less useful ones. We utilize the QWEN 2.5-7b model and examine each dataset independently while maintaining a consistent training method across all experiments. We conduct controlled experiments, training each model for 250 steps and evaluating them at the final checkpoint. Our findings, presented in Table 2, reveal that different datasets significantly affect accuracy in reasoning tasks. The Numina Math dataset stands out, achieving the highest average accuracy and surpassing the baseline model by over 8.30%. It excels particularly in mathematical tasks like Math 500 and AMC 23, while also performing well in general reasoning tasks, indicating strong generalization. The SYN-QA dataset shows a slight improvement of about 1.0% over the baseline, with notable accuracy in MMLU Pro, AGIEVAL, and Math 500, suggesting that synthetic instruction style data can align well with benchmark distributions. Natural reasoning, despite lower scores in language-heavy benchmarks, achieves a surprisingly strong overall average due to high performance in Math 500 and AMC 23. Indicating that reasoning-focused datasets can still contribute effectively to math-related tasks. Conversely, Persona Math, while strong in math, struggles with generalization across most benchmarks. The MMLU train dataset underperforms in many tasks, especially in math reasoning, suggesting that using raw MMLU train data alone is not enough for generalization. However, it excels in SUPER-GPQA, which requires reasoning across various domains, highlighting its potential for capturing broad knowledge. When preparing blends for data usefulness, we calculate the average accuracies of individual datasets to create a score, giving more weight to datasets like SYN-QA and Numina Math, and less to MMLU train. Next, we examine the effects of NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK across 3 categories using 6 blends. We also create a blend, denoted as B_ND, that samples data in proportion to each dataset's original size. To explore the impact of within-domain versus cross-domain training, we introduce a single source category, creating 2 domain-specific blends, one using only math data and the other using only general-purpose reasoning data. We compare NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK with a recent math-focused self-learning method, OpenReasoner 0, ORZ, which has shown superior accuracy in math benchmarks. Our evaluations reveal that each blending strategy consistently outperforms the base model by a significant margin. The natural distribution blend, B_ND, shows an average improvement of over 13% compared to the baseline, indicating that simply increasing training data can be advantageous. The blend from the data source category, B_GPRU Pero, achieves the highest overall average and performs best in most reasoning-focused benchmarks, outperforming ORZ by about 5% on average. While B_only_math performs slightly better in math-specific tasks, it falls short in non-math reasoning benchmarks compared to B_GPRU Pero. To understand these differences, we analyze subcategory accuracies and find that B_GPRU Pero excels in non-math categories, while math subcategory differences are minimal. This suggests that general-purpose reasoning data can effectively transfer across domains without significantly compromising math accuracy. Both B_McPero and B_OpenUpArrow show consistent improvements, with B_OpenUpArrow slightly outperforming the others in mathematical benchmarks. This indicates that open-ended question formats align well with the reasoning demands of math tasks, suggesting that diversity in question types can enhance performance in both general and math-focused reasoning tasks. Regarding data usefulness, our score-based selection strategy, B_Score, outperforms the base model, demonstrating the effectiveness of selective data curation. However, it still lags behind blends like B_MaruPero and B_only_math because it assigns weights based solely on average dataset scores, neglecting task-specific strengths. For example, math and persona math receive higher weights despite natural reasoning and MMLU performing better in general-purpose tasks. In our investigation of single-domain versus mixed-domain training data, we find that B_only_Mr achieves the highest average math score among all blends, ranking second overall in accuracy. In contrast, while B_only_GPR outperforms the base model, it underperforms in math reasoning tasks. Surprisingly, B_only_GPR also falls short compared to B_only_Mr in non-math reasoning benchmarks. This suggests that including math problems in the training blend is crucial for maximizing gains in general-purpose reasoning tasks. As previously noted, B_GPRU Pero achieves the best average reasoning accuracy, confirming that math data can effectively transfer to structured reasoning tasks, while general-purpose data is less effective when isolated. Section Summary. In this section, we analyze the impact of individual datasets on self-learning, finding that datasets like Numina Math and SynQA significantly enhance performance across various reasoning tasks, while others like MMLU, Train, underperform. Our blending strategies demonstrate that incorporating both math and general-purpose reasoning data yields superior results, highlighting the importance of diverse data sources for effective model training. Section. To further understand the influence of multi-domain data in response generation, we compare the average token lengths of correct and incorrect responses between models trained on two blends, $B_GPRU Pero, and $B_only_Mr, As shown in Fig. Token_efficiency, on general-purpose reasoning, GPR, benchmarks, $B_GPRU Pero, consistently outperforms $B_only_Mr, and ORZ, not only in accuracy, as shown in tab 7B_ blends, but also in response efficiency, producing correct answers with significantly fewer tokens. For instance, on MMLU, the average token count for correct responses is 229 for $B_GPRU Pero, compared to 351 for $B_only_Mr. This demonstrates that exposure to multi-domain data enables the model to internalize a more efficient reasoning strategy, leading to both improved performance and reduced inference cost. In contrast, on math-specific benchmarks, $B_only_Mr, $, and ORZ perform slightly better in accuracy, as expected due to domain alignment. Interestingly, correct responses are generally longer than in reasoning tasks, as solving math problems inherently requires detailed, multi-step derivations, hypothesis exploration, verification, and refinement. Despite this, the $B_GPRU Pero shows its adaptability by generating longer responses for math tasks and shorter ones for GPR tasks, indicating a dynamic response strategy learned through multi-domain training. As shown in tab token_stats, $B_GPRU Pero has a wide dynamic range for generating responses. It increases its average tokens by 62% when generating responses for math tasks, mean tokens equals 622, as opposed to general reasoning tasks, mean tokens equals 385. Whereas $B_only_Mr. increases its average tokens only by 14%, mean tokens equals 731 for math tasks and mean tokens equals 639 for general reasoning tasks, showing a much smaller dynamic range. This trend is also mirrored in ORZ, trained on a high-quality blend of math datasets, which shows an even smaller increase, 12%, in average token length across domains. This adaptive behavior highlights a key strength of multi-domain training. It equips the model with the flexibility to tailor its response style to the nature of the task. By learning from a diverse range of domains, $B_GPRU Pero learns to reason efficiently across all tasks. $B_GPRU Pero uses on average 28% fewer tokens for correct responses than $B_only_Mr. producing compact yet accurate answers where appropriate, and detailed ones when necessary. In this section, we explore how NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK is more efficient in generating responses. To understand the impact of multi-domain data on response generation, we compare the average token lengths of correct and incorrect answers from models trained on two different data blends, one focused on general-purpose reasoning and the other on a specific type of reasoning. Our findings show that the general-purpose reasoning blend consistently outperforms the other blend in both accuracy and efficiency, producing correct answers with fewer tokens. For example, on the MMLU benchmark, the average token count for correct responses is 229 for the general-purpose blend, compared to 351 for the other blend. This indicates that exposure to diverse data helps the model develop a more efficient reasoning approach, improving performance and reducing costs. In math-specific benchmarks, the other blend performs slightly better in accuracy, which is expected due to its focused training. However, we notice that correct responses in math tasks tend to be longer because solving these problems requires detailed, multi-step reasoning. Interestingly, the general-purpose blend adapts by generating longer responses for math tasks and shorter ones for general reasoning tasks, showing a flexible response strategy learned through multi-domain training. We also observe that the general-purpose blend has a wide range for generating responses, increasing its average token count by 62% for math tasks compared to a smaller increase of 14% for the other blend. This adaptability highlights the strength of multi-domain training, allowing the model to adjust its response style based on the task. Overall, the general-purpose blend uses about 28% fewer tokens for correct responses than the other blend, producing concise yet accurate answers when needed. Next, we investigate how the formatting of training data affects model performance through two studies focused on question and answer templates. Our analysis shows that models trained on open-ended data perform better across benchmarks. We find that converting all questions to an open-ended format leads to improved performance, particularly on reasoning-intensive benchmarks. This is because open-ended questions require the model to rely more on reasoning rather than guessing, which enhances generalization. In the answer template study, we examine how the format of output labels impacts training effectiveness. We compare long-form answers, which include both the option label and description, to short-form answers that only include the option label. Our results indicate that the short-form template consistently outperforms the long-form version, suggesting that simplifying the output space reduces ambiguity and helps the model align its predictions with the question structure. We also note that training with long-form answers can introduce challenges, as the model may be penalized for minor phrasing differences even when the correct option is chosen. While a more flexible reward function could address this issue, we opted for a straightforward rule-based approach for clarity and reproducibility, leaving more complex reward designs for future research. Section Summary. In this section, we demonstrate that NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK B_GPRU Pero is more token efficient than other models, producing correct responses with significantly fewer tokens due to its exposure to multi-domain data, which enhances its reasoning strategy. Additionally, we find that using open-ended question formats and short answer templates improves model performance by encouraging robust reasoning and reducing ambiguity in predictions. Section: Difficulty Filtering. In this section, we discuss the importance of using high-quality data for effective self-learning, which helps us achieve stable learning and accurate reward signals. Recent studies have looked into different filtering methods to eliminate noisy reference answers from datasets, particularly focusing on data that can be easily verified with simple rules. We further examine how selecting data based on question difficulty can enhance model accuracy, noting that as training data becomes more challenging, the model's performance improves. However, previous methods often depend on datasets with predefined difficulty scores, like Math -500. We propose a straightforward way to estimate question difficulty for general reasoning datasets that lack explicit labels. We classify questions as difficult if a smaller model, Quen -2.5-7b, answers them incorrectly in a zero-shot context, filtering out the easy ones. Our reasoning is that questions easily solved by a basic model are likely to require only surface-level knowledge, while those it struggles with demand deeper reasoning or broader generalization. We create two versions of our training dataset, one unfiltered with all questions and one filtered to keep only the difficult ones. We use these datasets to train separate instances of a larger model, QWEN 2.5 to 32b. Our filtering method consistently improves performance across all benchmarks evaluated. While both models outperform the original baseline, the one trained on the filtered dataset shows the highest accuracy across all tasks, especially in complex benchmarks, where it improves by 2 to 8% compared to the unfiltered model. On average, filtering increases overall accuracy by 2.15%, which is significant given that it comes from training on fewer but more challenging examples. This indicates that focusing on difficult examples can lead to more robust and generalizable models. Next, we explore the evolution of reasoning in large language models, LLMs. These models have shown exceptional performance in various natural language processing tasks. To improve their reasoning abilities, we introduce the chain of thought (COT) approach, which involves multi-step reasoning before reaching conclusions. COT has proven beneficial in areas like mathematics, science, and programming. We further develop this concept into the long chain of thought framework, where LLMs exhibit advanced cognitive behaviors such as reflection and correction, enhancing their problem-solving skills in complex tasks. Long COT also scales well with increased computational resources, leading to better reasoning outcomes. Several models, including QWQ and DeepSeek R1, have successfully utilized long COT to boost reasoning performance, combining fine-tuning and reinforcement learning to achieve remarkable results. Even smaller models benefit from long COT through simple distillation. We also highlight the necessity of high-quality training data for scalable reasoner zero training. Many recent studies focus on mathematical benchmarks for reinforcement learning, as creating verifiable rewards is simpler for math tasks. This focus often overlooks other problem types, like multiple-choice questions, which are crucial for tasks like MMLU. The format of input data and final answers is vital for rule-based reward models but remains largely unexplored. Additionally, the lack of detail in data synthesis approaches limit scalability beyond math. We need to investigate the types of data and their ratios that contribute to improving LLMs across various benchmarks. In terms of data sampling in reinforcement learning, recent research has examined combining data from multiple sources to enhance reasoning task diversity and model generalization. Most of this work has concentrated on the mathematical domain, where rule-based correctness simplifies reward modeling. Data sampling strategies often depend on question complexity or the ease of algorithmic verification. For example, questions may be filtered based on whether they can be solved with deterministic programs. Curriculum learning has been used to control difficulty levels using synthetically generated data, but these studies are often limited to structured domains like logic puzzles or math problems. One study found that a mix of 50% math and 50% noisy verifiable data from WEBINSTRUCT462K yielded the best MMLU Pro score in a reinforcement learning setup, suggesting the potential benefits of mixing domains. However, it remains unclear how including non-math reasoning data impacts training, as a significant portion of WEBINSTRUCT462K is math-related. While filtering has been used to prioritize the mathematical domain, there is a lack of systematic investigation into how incorporating non-math reasoning data, such as legal analysis or common-sense reasoning, affects reinforcement learning training. NEMOTRON-CROSSTHINK is the first framework to systematically integrate multi-domain and multi-format data into reinforcement learning, introducing verifiable reward mechanisms for non-deterministic domains and demonstrating that blending diverse reasoning sources enhances generalization across benchmarks.